Thank you very much, James. Indeed, we are just about to get things started here in the NA Minor, and there are some pretty huge teams. A lot of Brazilians too, which is going to be great for the South American region.
Yeah, I think people, again, when you look at the just normal tournament circuit of things, right, you kind of sleep on what the Brazilians have working, I guess, back home in that sense. All the talent, because they have in many ways, they have, a similar scene to the Danish in the sense that, back home in Brazil, they have a ton of local events. They have just a ton of interest around the game, right? There's so many teams playing to the point now you're seeing more and more of them actually going over to North America to live there full time, right? To try to make something out of this, to make this a career. It's obviously been the case for a team like INTZ. We've obviously seen multiple of the players either play with Luminosity or Immortals. A lot of these storied teams within the Brazilian Counter-Strike scene for some time. So it's a lot that you can kind of peer your eyes towards. It's not going to be just the story of, oh, FURIA is going to make it through and they're going to have an easy time of it, because there's just so much potential talent growing in the region.
Yeah, and it has been a bit volatile as well, because obviously you had MIBR for the longest time were just the kings of Brazil, and now that has certainly changed. FURIA ranked 7 in the world, considerably higher than MIBR, and they've had their own issues. But here we go. FURIA and INTZ into the first round. And we're going to have FURIA on the CT side. Very passive from the terrorists, just sitting back and waiting. You have to assume that these two teams know each other pretty well on top of everything else.
It's again, it's a fun bit of a wrench to throw into the works here. The fact that they are, again, domestic matchups in a lot of this. As you said, a lot of Brazilian teams here. So yeah, familiarity is definitely going to come into play. And I think that's one of the places where we've seen weakness out of FURIA as well. It hasn't necessarily been, as easy for them to have this kind of a play style, the aggressive moves that they like to do, versus teams that obviously know their tendencies.
Ooh, bit of a trade kicking off. Able J just about skirting around the edges with 7 HP, able to claim 1. But now the jig is up. They know exactly where INTZ is looking to push. It's over on the B side of the map. 2 players here, but going to be a bit of a worry in the train blocking the smoke.
Was that even the train, or did they just line up poorly? If it's the train, then certain people on Twitter are going to make themselves heard. Yuri with a great double kill here. HP right now, and man advantage actually in favor of INTZ. Ooh, all right then. Zed kicking us off with an early 1v2 clutch there to get INTZ on the board. That, did not look very promising towards the very end there. Yuri with a double kill. Nearly clutching it out for FURIA.
What a strange old round that was.
Yeah.
Some train shenanigans, and then suddenly Zan decides that
enough's enough.
Yeah, he wants to take the first round of the NA Minor, looking to kick off with a swing. With this being a best of 1 as well, it always makes me nervous in the first game when it is 10 in the morning as well.
Yeah, when I saw the strafe, I guess the voting.
Yeah, 95 to 5.
Yeah, that's like there's no chance that there's a 95% chance of FURIA winning this. Like, there's so many small details coming into play here, and also as they mentioned on the desk, right? This is a bit of a rogue pick from INTZ. It's not like this is an unfamiliar map for FURIA by any means, right? Just came out of Cologne, losing 16-14 versus Navi on that map, but. No, this is definitely something that FURIA could have. Well, they've played it so much that people can actually look into what they've been doing for such a long time. INTZ can specialize in this map going into it. They've known their opening opponent for quite some time, and we've seen that in multiple tournaments as well. This is something that Tai Lu, for instance, would be specialist at. If they know the first matchup, they can probably guess what track we're going into in terms of what maps we're going to end up on, and just hard anti-strat your opponents. And if that nets you, 1 win, it's all you're looking for. Especially if you take that on a big scale like FURIA, right? Yeah,
if you look at the stats as well, I mean, the fact of the matter is that in the last 3 months, INTZ have only won 1 time on Overpass out of 4. So definitely...
And just to put that into light, FURIA have played this map 23 times in the last 3 months. To give you the bit of the disparity between the two teams.
With a 65% win rate.
Yeah, exactly. They're beating good teams as well. It's not like they're slouching here. They've beaten North on it, for example. Again, had super close games versus teams like Navi. Same thing with close games versus Liquid, who we know are a fantastic Overpass team. So it's not an easy task that KNG and Co have kind of set themselves up for. But if they're up for the task, all for it.
FURIA patiently again. INTZ, of course, know that they're going to be rifles on the horizon. Nothing in terms of utility, though. Only a few flashbangs and one smoke to play with. No kits, no armor on Art with his AWP. So they are certainly lumbering and limping their way towards the latter stages of this round. Smoke goes down. Actually, from the terrorists, that's going to block themselves off, but they're going to try and play some mind games with FURIA. But with still 5 players up, this is starting to look a little bit precarious now. It's going to come down to timing. Able J able to hold the corner with the FAMAS, able to get one, but no more. The rest of his team locking it down with authority with the AUGs and M4s, and it leaves only KNG with 13 seconds and a MAC-10 by his side.
Yeah, he needs to die. There you go. Yeah, don't want to let time run out on you and mess up your economy in that sense. And it was a bit of a bonus round on the side of INTZ. They held on to a lot of their weapons from the previous round and so on. So yeah, we're going to see a reinvestment here with KNG on the AWP, and that's where you want to be if you're the T side. Having him on the AWP can be such a big momentum swing for you. It's not going to be the prettiest of reinvestments, though. 3 rifles in total, one of them being a Galil, so yeah, not ideal. But that fell apart quickly. You could see what the idea was. It was meant for Zand, as he was popping through the smoke, to be the second player to clear out that corner. He gets kind of stuck on a, I don't know, like a pixel. Doesn't make it quite through the smoke, and therefore gets taken down pretty easily by Able J.
Yeah, they did let the clock run down very low additionally, so they were kind of panicked when they went for the engagement towards the end. Yeah. We'll see if they learn from that. Obviously, when you have 2 pistols in play, it does make you a little bit more aggressive overall, but they do have the AWP too, so it's a strange hybrid of weaponry here for the terrorists.
Yeah. I mean, they could, again, as you said, because they can allow themselves to be a little bit more aggressive with the pistols, you can pretty much set them up as bait for a potential bigger target, right? If you get Art to bite on one of either Yell or Cello jumping out from an angle, which gives KNG time to get that trade, you take that any day of the week. Speaking of Art, it's going to be, for now, actually, the solo defender over towards A here. And again, not having been out of control, that's... this is like the kind of setup that has a timer on it if you're FURIA. And right now, it seems like the times are already kind of ran out on them.
It was a well-timed smoke that deployed onto short, but Yell, undeterred, one of those aforementioned pistols, going to get round the back of FURIA.
They have to assume that somebody's that long, though. Even like with the open bomb site, they have to know that this is the kind of setup that they're expecting. And I think Art's been heard scoping in as well. You can see Zan just completely stopped by balloons. Yeah. And this is about to spell disaster.
What a strange round, only playing Art on long, nobody short side. They get the plant down for free. Art's going to get picked off from the side. That's another weapon that trades hands. The CZ up close, trying to catch FURIA in transition. But a lot of information gathered in the process. He saw 2 players down there, heard the pitter-patter of footsteps. Okay. Additionally, and now Vinny's going to go in. Here comes Destiny, double AK France. Is that going to be enough for the round? It's looking good. Urine only with 44 HP remaining. Closed off by Cello. And INTZ strike again.
Yeah. It's definitely a way to get right back into it for the T side. And as you said, yeah, just a very weird round. And it seemed like you mentioned it, they threw down the smoke on Banana, right? In hopes that that's going to be the deterrent to buy some more time, potentially allow Art to wrap around. Again, we know FURIA can be an extremely aggressive team. Just on an individual basis, they love to go for information plays and that kind of stuff, even Art with the AWP. But it seems like INTZ are kind of aware as to what's going on. This could be something that they've read into, right? They see that, okay, oftentimes with these kind of setups, they're going to use smokes to buy time for themselves. If that's not going to work out for FURIA, they're going to have to adapt on the fly, and that's something that could be really, really tough to do.
Absolutely, especially when you're on the CT side, the favorite of the 2 sides. There's the Desert Eagle, though. Yell. Interrupt myself, because I thought maybe Yuri had a moment up his sleeve. Not quite, but yeah, especially on the CT side, when your economy is in such a strange, rocky position, it's going to be even more pressured in this best of 1. So maybe coming through quite soon in the next 2 or 3 rounds, we may see a timeout call by FURIA just to try and steady things somewhat.
It's kind of funny to see how the 2 teams are going to interact, I guess, amongst each other as well. I think any KNG team is always going to be loud. And we saw the FURIA players, before starting the game, literally sitting there having their Zen moment, trying to gather their thoughts. And if they're going to be able to stay that calm as this, is slowly getting a little bit out of control, right? INTZ, if they can find a lot of early T-side rounds, they're going to feel so good about themselves. And their approach so far on the T-side has been, again, rather cookie cutter, but again, it's been well executed. And that's what you look to see, because anyone can find a blueprint, but many people don't know how to actually properly execute it, right?
Sure, I mean, they have built the foundations of that blueprint now, but they have to go a bit further, and they're doing that just as I speak. Onto the A site. 2 players remain, Abel J and K Serato. Just a Deagle and a P250 between them, trying to perforate and pierce the smoke, but nothing connecting. And this round is done, Van. I mean, there's really so little that FURIA can do than maybe get a couple of exit frags.
And even then, I mean, yeah, you're going to have to find a fair amount for this to actually have too much of an impact on the T-side economy. And if you're INTZ, there's no reason for you to go hunting. You know that there's only pistols abound, so if they want to hold on to a Deagle, sure, you're allowed to have that 700, I guess, investment made into the next round, because you stand so much more to lose here. And also, it's kind of cool to see, again, the continued development of the meta, right? More and more SGs coming out. Zand and Yell was pretty early on to bust that out in this game. I think we're going to see a pretty big change up in just trends of how the game is played for this major specifically. A lot of these teams are, again, in that tier that don't necessarily travel around each and every week. They do have time to actually settle down, practice some new stuff, and kind of get acquainted with these new weapons more so than a fair few of the other teams. So we might see some cool stuff coming out with that. Still, though, FURIA. Actually, speaking of the meta changes, right? The AUG had a bit of a nerf, actually a pretty significant one.
Yep.
Hasn't deterred FURIA from going back to it.
I think it's still good situationally, right?
Yeah,
like kind of longer ranges where K Serato's playing down Monster can still certainly have its day, but I think most people would agree the SG now is the superior
far
gun.
superior, yeah.
And probably is next on the chopping block in terms of a nerf.
You would imagine so, right? Because now both T-side weapons, I would rate the AK, above the AUG as well. Now you just have 2 superior rifles, pretty significantly as well compared to the CT side. Oh, that's hard.
Not able to get 2. That's the curse of the AWP. Have to put another bullet into the chamber. But it is a 1-for-1 trade, which has now gone the way of FURIA. Yuri steps tall, delivers the fatal blow onto Destiny. INTZ on the back foot. They still have 50 seconds, though. That was all out of a cluster of action. They can change direction if they so choose. They have control of Connector.
No nades to potentially flush out Yuri here. They do have a couple of Molotovs. It's hard to get that down in a proper fashion with the smoke down. Now it's all down to timing. Oh, Kenji has seen it. Oh, actually misses the shot. Big opportunity missed. Yuri's going to pick up that AWP, and he's going to get out of dodge for the time being.
Yeah, and there's only 20 seconds of it left.
Yeah, they need to get a move on here.
Time itself becoming an enemy. Crossfires being established. They know it has to be an A hit. Zand with the entry, but that should be all she wrote for this round, and indeed it shall. FURIA do bounce back. It's at the cost of 2 weapons, but they can replenish them. That's going to do their confidence pretty damn good.
It got potentially very dicey for FURIA right there. Again, you get the 1-for-1 trade. You said that's the kind of the curse of the AWP in that scenario. You need to have a little bit of luck going your way for that to pan out any better. But if Destiny wins out that duel versus Yuri on long.
Oh, yeah, that was a key moment.
The end. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's not like it's a confident fight for Yuri to take as well. He's still moving up, trying to get into the corner, tuck himself away before Destiny pops up. Surviving on 22 HP, that could so easily swing in the T-side favor. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a complete run from INTZ. Economy broken on FURIA, all that kind of nightmarish stuff going on for them. So I can see why they would take a timeout here, just kind of calm themselves down, figure out what they want to do. And again, I don't think they managed to pick up the AWP going into this round either. So Art not going to be able to rummage around the restroom area with that weapon. That might change up how they decide to approach their CT side setups. Actually, oh, never mind. They did pick it up. Or they did reinvest into it.
Yeah, I think they ended up purchasing another one. You can see it does have an impact on a couple of their players, down to $150. Why they call a timeout, they just want to steady the ship a little bit and make sure they don't throw away this potential to build back into the half.
Ooh.
There's a leg shot onto KNG. 1 HP remains. I think he also connected into
even
Art,
trade.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they both have to stall away. Back towards the site is Art. But KNG, a gust of wind will take him down at this point. So you're going to have to be very passive.
Yeah, that was from the op as well, right? So
yeah.
How do you do 99 in 1?
I think it was through the wall, but yeah, that's a good question.
It's damage variables in this game is a bit funky. It's the same thing with the scout, right? Hit him at the just right place, you can actually down a player without armor, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like you need like a PhD in trigonometry or something to figure that one out at times. Like, why did this not kill him?
Yeah, everyone's looking like the guy from The Beautiful Mind.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, everything has stabilized for the time being. So both AWP are still alive, even though dinged up a little bit. Still definitely going to be an issue to deal with for both sides. We'll see what comes of it. One benefit that FURIA has right now is that there's not a whole lot of utility to work with here on the T side. They haven't really committed to a bomb site. This seems like they want to sell an A fake.
I think so. Maybe that play onto the A site when they only had one on long is still back in the memory. Oh, FURIA kills going down. They're trying to get away these CTs off the site. Has worked in the sense that AbleJ made a move backwards, but K-Serato holding on for dear life. 8 seconds, going to play the time perfectly as AbleJ. Chips in for 1, he's done enough. The round is going the way of FURIA. Now the only question remains, can they save the AWP in the hands of KNG? And it looks like he will be able to, but what a hold that was.
Yeah, very important as well, because the fake initially works as well. They managed to get the initial kill onto Art. They have one rotation coming over. Puts you in a prime spot to take that B bomb site. They get the favorable trade from Monster as well. Seemed like something went wrong. You could see that towards the very end in the player cam, KNG was calling for an admin to come over. Not sure if there's, well, there's definitely a tech issue of some sort.
Look dismayed. The way he did it, it was so dramatic.
I was a little bit worried about the fact that he would just get around the corner on Monster, try to find an admin, and then somebody would actually rush him down.
They kill him, yeah.
That definitely doesn't help the situation at all, right?
Some headsets off, never a good sign. Has been put back on, so we can cross our fingers.
Might have been a minor issue. Now it's gone into a tactical pause here, so we'll see what comes of it. But yeah, trade game not being on point. KNG obviously on 1 HP, can't get into that forward of a position either to cover off the bomb, and that's really what allows for FURIA to deny the bomb plant and wins in the round.
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't adapt particularly well there, INTZ, to the fact that their AWP was so low, and like just a stray grenade, stray bullet through smoke ends his life. So, and you could see what they're going for at the end with the fake, but they got a couple of kills. They didn't have enough time to execute off the site, however, and that's why AbleJ was able to just sit there, play possum in water, and just destroy them.
Yeah, it's also, again, a lack of utility, right? We saw it just about as the fake comes in. The fact that they have so little to work with. They have a Molotov and a smoke and a couple of flashes. So, yeah, maybe you smoke off, you know, the entrance towards lower, like over the plank part, but then you still have to contest water. That's tough when you're low HP. You don't have necessarily Molotovs to force anyone back. It becomes a bit of an issue for INTZ. Now we're back from the tactical into a technical. Hopefully it's not too severe of an issue. INTZ have looked pretty decent so far on their T side to start things off. And again, you can tell that they have a good read of how they want to draw FURIA all around the map. I think that's actually one of the things that the CT side is pretty susceptible for. It's something that we've seen even in all their success that they've had so far. They've had a tendency to have pretty heavy rotations. They are a kind of a gambly team in that sense. I mean, that kind of goes one and one with being such an aggressive team as they are, not just on the T side, but obviously CT side as well. If INTZ can abuse that to, well, the best of their ability, then it's going to give them a fair few chances to get extra rounds here. But obviously now we go into a bit of a rougher spot, low economy and so on.
Absolutely as well. I mean, I feel like a couple of these rounds have only just been 1 or 2 slight mistakes from going so well for INTZ. Like in another day, this could easily be like a 6-1, 5-1 scoreline.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Destiny wins out the duel versus Yuri.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, massive run on your hands for INTZ.
And to put it in context as well, FURIA ranked 7th, INTZ 45th.
Yeah.
There's quite a gulf between the two of them.
And I think the 45th ranking is I mean, it might even be a little bit lenient, right? There's definitely a lot of good teams working about it. And they haven't had, they talked about it on the desk, right? They haven't had the best of showings as of late. Again, obviously you managed to qualify for the America's Minor. That's a big one. But outside of that, you haven't heard too much about INTZ. They haven't had the same success that they wanted in online leagues and so on. And KNG just hasn't been that prominent figure that everyone expected him to be, right? Like he was basically on his way to stardom, right? Being obviously such a, I guess a bit of a meteor, you know, coming from Immortals, just having that incredible rise. Everyone expecting him to eventually become a part of MIBR, then everything took a bit of a stall.
I mean, a lot of that could also be said for FURIA as a team. I mean, this is a team that, going back a year or so, weren't really on the radar anywhere near the same level they are now. But with that, the dynamic of the team changes too. The dynamic of how the players are seen, the expectations that are leveled on their shoulders. Now you come into this, and FURIA have got to be one of the favorites to qualify. Anything less is a massive failure.
Oh, for sure. It's the same situation that we saw NRG find themselves in a couple of minors back, right? They're also here, obviously, to fight for a spot in the challenger stage. And then they were not able to deal with that kind of pressure initially. And you come into a tournament, now all of a sudden you have a target on your back, you're the favorite, everyone's going to look into you, whether, you know, and then you look at, I guess, your normal everyday life as energy at that time would have been, you're going to tournaments and you're upsetting people. It's very different from having people actually coming into a game with a specific game plan just for you. And that's, I guess, one of the parts, obviously, of becoming a top team, an established top team that FURIA has to go through if they want to show that they do belong. Again, basically swimming through this qualifying stage here is obviously going to be a big part of that.
And another thing as well we were talking about, you know, when we said that in terms of the odds and things, yes, it makes sense for it to be favoring towards FURIA, but definitely take that with a pinch of salt because it's a best of one. It's the first game of the tournament. Plus the fact that we're on Overpass, there is way more information out there, way more demos to be watched
100%.
for FURIA as opposed to INTZ. This is a team that's only played it 4 times in the last 3 months. They just haven't played it that much.
Yeah.
It's hard for FURIA to know what to expect is going to be coming up against them.
No, absolutely. And again, all that kind of stuff just adds pressure to you. If you're FURIA, there's so many new obstacles that you have to face and overcome. Done a pretty admirable job of it so far. And I mean, even if we look at it, just the groups, it's not like INTZ are necessarily the hardest team in this group either for FURIA to overcome with. Again, there's a lot of solid teams here, and I think it's been overlooked a little bit. You know, for the casual viewer when you get into this. So if I'm not mistaken, there's also United who've been looking pretty good. Moose is a player that I've been pleasantly surprised watching. They're going to be fun to watch, and they can definitely take maps off of FURIA. They've played each other a lot, so familiarity is going to be there as well. And then you've got Luminosity, who I guess we've been somewhat disappointed by in terms of performances. You expect more out of the names on that squad, but now they've got Phelps in there. Maybe that can be a thing that actually pushes them in a positive direction.
Yet to be seen. The good news, though, is we are back live again. 3-4 in favor of INTZ on the terrorist side. Destiny going to be just watching the background. As you can see, gets pushed from Yuri. So that early alarm system, that safety net has been dealt with. Vinny on TL, looking much better now for FURIA.
Yeah, this is quite the reinvestment to have on the side of INTZ as well. They had the save op from KNG, and obviously wants to supplement that as best as possible, but what do you do when you run out of utility, you don't really have the weaponry to deal with? I guess you do that. That works, yeah. Set KNG up for success. That's going to work out nicely for them. B-bomb side open for now. KNG gets aggressive, misses the shot onto Art. It's actually going to go back for more. Okay, so he's sectioned that part of the map off.
Now they also have an SG. Just a flashbang. Hyper-aggression from KNG has got them this far. The bomb still not going towards the site, though. It has stalled somewhat near the pillar. Now they're going to move in. Cello given the duties of tickling the bomb. Not too far off on those wallbang attempts. And now Yuri claims the frag onto KNG. Doubles up. FURIA going to be getting the clutch.
Now it's the FURIA guys getting loud. Obviously both teams not sitting too far away from us here in the booth. And that was FURIA. Again, Being patient about their retakes. You could tell Art definitely aware of the fact that KNG could still post up aggressively. Just finding the right timing for Yuri to make that rotation through Monster. Did a good job then with the remaining utility that they had to delay a bomb plant as well. You can see the Molotov going down. That's why Cello wasn't able to get the bomb down early enough. Or at a time where they could feel a little bit more comfortable to get into afterplant positions. But still, given the, I guess, the purchase that we saw out of INTZ initially, not a bad result at all.
Certainly not a lot to be happy about. Vinny, though, double spray onto Weaken, Destiny, and Zand. I think the grenades pretty much obliterated them. Going to be the one entry in the form of Yell with a CZ, but he will do no more. And now Cello, Yardra tasked with a Glock of all weapons, the worst in the game for this situation, and he can't do anything. FURIA take the lead for the first time in this best of one.
Yeah. It hasn't been easy, though. Again, we're seeing a solid fight being put up on the T side here. Now they're going to get weapons back in their hands. KNG is going to go for the glass cannon op as a flash to help him out, potentially get into proper positions. But for me, it's going to be interesting to see how they actually deal with getting map control without having to use too much utility. Because, again, we've seen it. Once they get close to the bomb sites, it's definitely been an issue with lacking utility just to hold off retakes and so on. Aggressive position from Yuri. Oh, gets caught out. Arch luckily there for the trade. So up down on the side of INTZ at least.
Yeah, and it's KNG that's fell, but now that Cello's gone with him, I was going to say a 1-for-1 trade, actually a pretty decent result for INTZ, but that equality's been taken off the table.
You also see there like an immediate reaction from FURIA. You have a double rotation coming out off of the 1-for-1 trade over towards A, and Able J, you know, at the same time going aggressively towards Underpass. So it's a massive over-rotation on the side of FURIA, but because Able is able to find one frag, it works out for them. They don't lose map control necessarily. Put INTZ in a rough spot. So this is the aggression that we talk about that's so tough to deal with out of FURIA. Yale's going to smoke off the end of long once more. He's just going to try to keep as many players over here on the bomb side on A to make Destiny's job a little bit more feasible. And this Molotov. Oh.
Certainly not what he was hoping for. His teammate with the bomb in the form of Destiny, though, is traversing through onto B. There's only one player here. That's going to be Art. If Art gets dealt with, this could be a bomb plant. This could start to get a little bit scary. He's checking all the corners except the one where Art is. There we go. Headshot has connected.
10 seconds, though. You need to get a bomb plant here, Destiny. And he will.
He's stuck, though, behind the sandbags. Any kill would have been massive. Yell can't get it done. And FURIA, once again, clutch it out. It does seem like INTZ, every time that they go behind players, they end up conceding the round pretty convincingly in the end. They've got to get that early pick to go in their favor.
Yeah. And again, be prepared for the fact that FURIA are going to throw aggressive moves at you in these, I guess when you're still fighting for and vying for map control in all these, I guess, unstable situations, you need to expect FURIA to play aggressively. Happened twice there. Able J finds the pick and Underpass, then Art makes the rotation after finding the trade initially up by Fountain, makes his way down in towards Water to find a second one. Again, though, getting a bomb plant there, pretty big. Loss bonus is going to start to mount up as well for them. And yeah, I think it's small margins that are separating the teams right now.
They're certainly not getting battered. You know, even in these situations, the 2v4s, the 3v5s, they're getting bombs planted, they're getting some kills, they're making it interesting. These aren't blowout rounds. They're not getting completely smashed down with 5 players left. So obviously, one, the confidence and the economy of INTZ is building pretty nicely. But on the other hand, FURIA, their economy hasn't been able to boom yet. They're constantly conceding deaths.
Yeah, a couple players going down here and there each and every round. And again, with all bomb plants going down, that's going to be more opportunities to get buy rounds in for INTZ. Definitely room to get back into the swing of things here on the T side for KNG and Co. But yeah, I think it's a big part what you mentioned. Being able to start out a round with the man advantage, not just getting the 1-for-1 trades. and stabilizing forward on the map for yourself around the restroom area and so on, that's going to do a lot for you. Because we can tell that FURIA are definitely reacting to everything. It might be just a little bit of an overreaction a lot of the time. And that's going to give space for players to work with. So if you have, again, another lurk similar to what we saw in the last round, that's something you can take advantage of if you have a 3v3 or a 4v4 situation.
Maybe that's why we're seeing INTZ going back to these default fakes, trying to play off the FURIA over rotations.
Yeah.
They've been able to watch this and lock it down as a potential weakness.
Oh, nice opening there from R. He finds KNG, so he's got the better of him a fair few times here now to start us off.
And once again, Ven, it's the opening pick going to FURIA. And it's one of their star players, one of their big hitters, KNG. His AWP will play no further part.
Now, again, maintaining that aggressive setup. They also have a rotation coming in from Vinny over towards Bank. INTZ might just be happy to throw out an execute here from the get-go. Yell. Oh, nice little boost there. Not something you see too often. Art, is he going to... Oh, still not aware of it. A lot of damage. Cello's going to find Able J over towards water as well.
Ooh, Art, there's a no-scope looking for more. That's the bomb down as well. This round was looking great for INTZ up until that moment. Spray nearly whiffs. Art's now been dealt with. So the banana peel has been traversed past, and K Serato tries to get cheeky with the peek, and Destiny's up to the task.
Need a little boost there from Yell to find pretty much a frag and a half. Get control back over restrooms, so not even an execute needed. And again, you see so many situations where FURIA players get tagged up, tuck away into a corner, and there's no utility left for INTZ to flush them out. The one Molotov they had left in that scenario was on Destiny. He was out by long, so he can't really help you in that scenario. And that can become very dicey. Now they're getting into a position at least where they can get utility. Actually, a fair few of them, yeah, opting for double flashes instead of an HE. Zan, I'm assuming he's going to buy up some utility eventually. You'd hope so.
3.3K, dude.
Yeah, just, I mean,
no armor either.
Share the care, yeah.
Bruh, don't do this to me.
Okay, there we go. Got in there. He's also got the HE as well, so could be the holy grenade. We'll see.
You're just keeping us on our tiptoes.
Yeah. And as you said, there's no real instance where FURIA's economy has been able to boom by any means. You see the odds coming in here from GG.bet. FURIA is still heavily favored, but I think we've touched on this a fair few times already. It's very much a game that's up in the air. Losing this would mean a reset for FURIA. We're back to a save round at least. Look at this heavy lean, though, from FURIA.
There we go. It is going to be the first kill going the way of INTZ. Can they make the most of this? Yes, they can. Cello. Double entry, double headshot. B-side cracked wide open and a smoke to greet the oncoming CTs. They can do nothing to get back onto the site here. Here's the SG spraying wildly. Yuri will claim the frag, but that allows KNG to peek through short pipe and finish off the weakened Yuri. Able J just looking to save the SG.
That's a bit of a must as well. Even with saving that, very unlikely for FURIA to have a reinvestment into it. Coming into the next round, so INTZ looking in a prime position to actually get back the lead here.
Other than the technical issues that we've had, obviously, there's been a lot of timeouts in this half, and I think it's just because of how incredibly close this is. Both teams know it's on the brink of collapsing for the other team. And now INTZ have picked this round up. We saw a lot of rebuys in the round prior. Their economy for FURIA is really poor now.
Yeah. I mean, you said it, right? They've never been in a situation where it's been comfortable enough for them to actually have their economy bloom. You're seeing the result of that right now. And Able J is going to, or he shouldn't, at least, mess too much behind that saved SG. Don't want to ruin a potential buy in the upcoming round. But this is a prime opportunity for INTZ to get a 7th on the board and potentially just win out the first half.
Oh, it's getting smacked down through the wooden panel. A spray spot from barrels, of course. No kill, but only 10 health remaining. Going to be looking to try and catch them off guard. Yell.
Speaking of.
Exactly. Gets Vinny, who was really caught in the middle of nowhere. Could see that his mind was working in overdrive, trying to figure out how they're pushing connector.
Oh, timing.
Oh, God, timing on two of them. Cello and KNG both pulled out flashbangs. Fortunately, business has resumed as usual, but here's the SG still in play. Fell from the hands of Able J into Yuri. No armor is going to be an issue with aim punch.
They've got their, I guess, backsides covered pretty well, though, on the side of INTZ. Yuri's going to hang out by player ground for a little bit longer. We'll see. I'm assuming Xan's going to be able to hear this. Yeah, I should definitely have heard the scope, and you can tell he's on the hunt. Relaying that information as well. Nobody's on the bomb site. They know what they want here. They don't want to allow for Yuri to save that op going into the next round. Timing is going to work out perfectly again for Yell.
Yeah, timing really the theme of that round. Yeah. There were a good 3 or 4 times where it got a little bit scary.
Starts off with Vinny just catching the wrong moment to turn around to check for underpass, and then both KNG and I think it was Cello get caught out by the aggressive push on long. Still managed to stabilize. So back in the lead. It's going to be another buy, though, on the side of FURIA. Not ideal in terms of utility by any means. Also got a FAMAS in there. Now, if there's ever been an opportunity for INTZ to kind of just close out this half, would be now. Getting 9-6 given the start, that would be so good. And double nades does significant damage onto Kisarado as well.
Yeah, another great start for INTZ. No kills, but Kisarado walking wounded.
And again, it's one of these very gambly setups from FURIA. This time, nobody over towards long. It's only Art towards restrooms that's covering off the entire A-bomb side. And, well, Destiny's going to make full use of that. Is he actually just going to complete the rotation fully in towards the B-bomb side? Still, nobody really rotating off the B-bomb side on the side of INTZ. This could be such a disaster.
There's so many pieces of this puzzle starting to fall into place, but Destiny's with this spray. All of that rotation could come crumbling down. He still has control over Heaven. Gonna get the kill into Able J. It's completely worth. But Vinny and Kisarado are doing work. Vinny could double up. This is a huge kill for the round if it goes the way to Cello. And there's still a way back in for INTZ. Cello whiffs and misses out on it. And now Vinny can hold the line for one more. 30 seconds. Zan doesn't even have control of the bomb. He has to make a move across, and Art will pluck him out. There were so many moments, and that's exactly how INTZ are feeling right now. That is their expression.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Destiny probably had his life flashing by his eyes when he jumps on that opportunity to find the player on higher. Again, super hard, spur of the moment decision-making to make. Whether or not you're going to go for that, because has still not been spotted, even if that rotation comes in from the higher player on FURIA. And if he lands that shot, the entire B-bomb side just falls apart.
Somewhat snatched at it. I feel like he had a good few more seconds to try and rummage behind them, but Art has got the opening pick. This is always boded well for FURIA. I don't know the stats, but I feel like every time they've got the first kill on their CT side, they've converted the round. Or at least it's very high.
Oh, it definitely is. INTZ, not that comfortable playing with a man disadvantage. But again, though, you see like a 3-man setup over towards that A-bomb side. They haven't made any rotations back towards B, so it's a lot of it just going to be on Vinny. Just going dry as well. Zan's going to win out that duel. And now it becomes a bit of an issue for FURIA.
Probably anticipating the flash to precede the push, and that's what caught him off guard. Able J, we've seen him pull off some heroics from the water pillar side, but not today. Barrel of the gun, gonna betray Yell. And Kisarado looking for more. M4 in hand, gonna spray out, but Cello gets the upper hand, and now Yuri has got the long rotation round the back of INTZ. 40 seconds, the bomb's not getting planted. They're just gonna try and make sure that they have all the angles covered. He's seen one head up on the barrels, gonna convert it with the headshot. Still 30 seconds, and now all of the pressure goes to Cello. It's him that has to get the bomb. He has to retrieve this. He has to get this planted. And in the meanwhile, he has no idea where Yuri's gone.
He's also thrown in the one smoke he had. In a bit of an awkward spot, but it's taken so long that, yeah, Yuri seems to assume that this is going to be over towards the bomb site. And if nothing else, he's going to get a very different path in towards the retake as well. So bomb's going to go down. He's going to realize this mistake now very shortly. But again, you can see Cello's still convinced that he's outside a monster.
Turning into quite an odd round. The spray's going to go the way of Furia. Yuri's done it. He almost mind-gamed himself and bamboozled himself out the round, but it will be Furia taking 8 rounds at halftime.
But it hasn't felt too convincing, has it? I feel Yuri's been definitely, well, the player for for Furia to kind of keep them in this. This could have spiraled out of control very easily. So as we do end about as even as we can get at halftime, this game is not over by any means.
Certainly not. Let's find out what happens after this very short commercial break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After a grueling battle between these two Brazilian squads, it did end just about in favor of Furia. They took the 8-7 half on their CT side. On another day, this could have been 10 rounds plus for INTZ. They're going to feel a bit hard done by, but it's still anybody's map.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had an early hot start from INTZ. It looked like they could go on a bit of a run, you know, getting up to a 6-1 lead, that kind of thing. Then obviously towards the end of it, breaking the economy of Furia, prime position to get themselves into a 9-6 half potentially. But I guess not necessarily experience, but at least form reigning supreme towards the very end of it. I think Yuri came up clutch so many times for Furia to keep them in this. But yeah, as you said, not done by any means at this stage. It's just so closely fought. If INTZ picks up a pistol, again, get off to a rocking start, that could be what does it for them. One thing that they had really going for them is the fact that they realized how much of an over-rotation Furia makes on their CT sides in terms of how they use their positioning, and you could still see that they kind of recognize the early setups as well from Furia, where they abused it over towards the A-bomb side. This is going to be a bit of a different look for them on the T side of Furia.
He's going to go in. Vinny's got the angle, but does miss a couple bullets. That's going to cost him dearly. He's able to finally find the headshot. Destiny now going to peek him second. Zand elsewhere onto Art, and suddenly the B side is starting to open up nicely for Furia. There is still one last beacon of hope, and that's Zand who's spinning around. He was the hero in the first pistol round that INTZ picked up, and Serato with the bomb plant. Furia a player behind, but do have the positional advantage.
They do. Yell with Kit 2 flashes, so going to set up for him to make the most out of those. Still going to be really hard to get rid of Kisarato in his position right now.
Could be behind this flank of Cello. He's the player that's been moving around through Monster. Could catch Yuri off guard because he's putting all of his attention towards Heaven. And now Cello can strike. Serato, though, with the Glock. He's doing work. One bullet left is all that's required to kill Destiny. And actually, no, the bomb's just going to detonate. Furia have done it, purely off time.
Everybody's going to die. The setup really for the flashes coming in from Yale took so long for INTZ to find. And then with him going down as well, that's Diffuse Kit gone. Destiny not able to pick it up as well as he mixes it over towards the bomb site. Secures it for FURIA. Important start as well as we see the score. Yuri just, yeah, miles ahead of anyone else really on his side. Able J, only other player in double figures actually up to this point.
108 ADR going into the 17th round.
He's picked up a Krieg as well, so you know he's going to be looking to take these duels. As we have the MAC-10 crew and Underpass. Similar setup to what we saw out of INTZ on their anti-eco. Just rather patient, not just running into bomb site or into and towards Fountain early on.
Because of their lack of weaponry, they're going to be playing clumped up together. See if they can get those avenging kills. Just 2 P250s and a flashbang. Send Able J out first. He's the expendable player with the MAC-10 plus some money. They'll be coming his way. Good news for his accountant. The MAC-10 has struck, but it's mainly the assault rifles that are doing the brunt of the damage, leaving just Yell remaining.
Yeah, and I mean, he knows what's about to happen. Fury are going to make their way up towards that A-bomb site. Not a whole lot of chances to really do anything here, but at least one frag is going to do something for your confidence. Vinny down. Yuri, okay, getting a little bit tagged up here, but still going to be able to work with it. Actually doing it with a Glock instead of a Krieg as well. Nonetheless, though, second round on the board in the second half for FURIA.
Patience in the 17th round will afford them a full set of rifles coming through into the 18th. It's going to be Orcs and a couple of M4s.
Still AUG heavy here from the South American teams.
With the firepower, though, being prioritized, it does leave them with a lack of utility or kits. And they've thrown out a lot of these nades to start the round off.
A bit of a mirror to what we saw in the first half as well. It's similar to what we saw FURIA have. They had the op on art, obviously. It's a fair difference maker, but again, similar scenario where there's not a whole lot of utility. You can't necessarily set back on a site and wait for an execution to happen. It did manage to win that round out. But again, it still puts you in such a rough spot going forward. If you were to win the round, you survive with 1 or 2 players. How do you rebuy into that?
And they feel like they have to go aggressive because they only have a flashbang remaining. That's into the arms of Quesarada. He'll be disappointed he didn't get a second as they were peeking into his angle.
They got the read, though. So with Quesarada going down, it feels like Yell is pretty confident about what's going on the rest of the map. Pushed really far forward here outside of Monster.
Cello, you feel like he has to get a kill from this. A flashbang. Their last flash has yielded so much for INTZ. KNG's gone down. Able J did get a second one, but Cello still in prime position to fend them off. And it leaves it to Vinny with 30 seconds, going to make a rotation towards the B side. He does have control of the bomb.
He's also got the HP advantage. Both players on INTZ still over towards that A-bomb site. Yell's going to get Molotov'd off, so he can't make the quick spurt through lower. So Vinny gets the choice of after plant position.
Did make a bit of noise dropping down. Did Yell hear that? Can't take it for granted, of course. Couple of flashes, too, if Vinny decides. Still thinks, but there's the shadow. It betrays the counter-terrorists. And Vinny does oblige. You can hear what it means to them. 11-7 lead.
Yeah. Keep in mind, that's not Vinny screaming either. That's the best part. You can tell when the player is just looking to the side like, yeah, you like that? That's a big round to win for FURIA. Vinny, we didn't get to see too much out of him on the CT side. Again, it was largely around the opening kills of Art and Yuri to close them out, really, to get them to where they are. But now we're seeing more and more of the FURIA players coming alive.
This really just has been the dream start to the second half. INTZ can't get any economy ticking forward. That is multiple rounds back-to-back, but a 5-7 drilled into the side of the head of Art is going to yield a weapon and a kill.
That's also on one of the players with like Kevlar. Now we've seen what one weapon can do when it gets into the wrong hands. KNG nearly finds the drop on Quesarado. He's just a little bit further forward there. It's in a prime position to do a lot of damage. Instead, pretty unscathed, actually, on the set of Kisarado, only taking 20 points of damage.
It did look as if KNG may even have the upper hand in that encounter, but not to be. Zand, Molotov out. They're not going to check the close angle. Yell, not able to double up, but he causes them to focus on that angle, allowing Zand to put up with his CZ.
Cello.
This is starting to get out of control now for Fury. It's a 3-on-1. It's going to be down to Vinny again, but this time he doesn't have the advantages going his way. And INTZ, that's their first round on the CT side.
Yeah, and off the back of that saved AK, Destiny picks up the initial kill with the 5-7 and then 2 more with the AK. Just being able to have a good read of what Fury are doing early on. You could see Cello so quick to be on that backstab before Fury is really fully committed to the bomb side, or gotten onto the bomb side, I should say. They were committed for sure, but that's just really well done. And it feels it's been that way the entire time. INTZ has had a really good idea of what's going on the Furia side. They just haven't been able to win out a lot of the individual duels.
That's a really good point. A lot of the rounds have been off the back of individual brilliance from Furia.
That very much so has, and there's a limit to how long that can work out for you, right? Like, again, yes, you might have the advantage pound for pound in terms of individual skill, but you can't base your entire game plan off of that or hope that that's going to carry you through each and every time.
The aggressive weapons of Furia being used up close and personal, but in the smoke, Zand will strike. Destiny and Yell both chip in for kills. It's a clean sweep. One of the few clean sweeps we've had today.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it the first?
I think it may very well be, yeah.
Was a much needed one as well. Cool idea from Furia, though. Again, as you can see, the smoke along the entire, I guess, lower walkway in towards Graffiti. If they can make it through there unspotted, unscathed, without Zand finding, I guess, a sixth sense to spot people through smokes, that could do so much damage to the backlines and just complete. Well, it will just create complete chaos. So cool ideas coming out from both sides here. That's one of the few rounds where I guess you could say that INTZ didn't have a really good read of what was going on. Cello needs to find a double kill here. Doesn't do so, so that's an AK given up, but KNG's quick to add another one to the tally.
Yeah, they know this is a full-on eco round. They don't need to peek in awkward angles. Just sit back, establish the crossfires, and pick them off simultaneously. What they've done. Cello was in just a very awkward position there, and they did well to jump a couple players across because it really skews with the headshot angle that you want to typically go for.
No, for sure. KNG being so quick to respond as well. And the fact that they've had 2 rounds where, a total out of, 9 out of 10 people survive for those 2 rounds, that's going to be such a big boost to the economy. And that's something we never saw out of Furia. Yeah. They were always labored with their economy on the CT side. They were able to make the most out of it, absolutely. Ended up winning the half when it came down to it, but if you're INTZ, you couldn't have asked for a better, I guess, turnaround to the second half early on.
Oh, sure. I mean, it was looking as though Fury 11-7 up, winning 3 in a row, economy looking like it was in the dirt for the CTs. Yeah. Like this was it. This was going to be the home stretch run, and the question maybe was, would INTZ even get around on their CT side? Well, hold the phones a second. This game's back on.
Absolutely is. Now we're going to see another buy coming up from Furia. It's going to be a little bit labored, no AWP in the hands of Art. 3 SGs and a MAC-10 on Kisarado.
KNG. Nades being exchanged, but he's going to come out swinging with a second. There's no one there to return either, and a third. Smoke, his ally. And he can just back away. No, not quite. Vinny with 2 of his own? Oh, how is this possible for you in this round still?
Oh, the specialist rears his head with the SG to find 2. And as you said, yeah, it was looking like it's going to be an easier round. Oh, bad time to unscope, Yell. All of a sudden, well, HP advantage actually in the favor of Furia. This is not looking like it was going to be the way it panned out. Destiny, though, quick with the rotation. ITZ have been so on point with this every single round, it feels like.
Serato is watching their flank. He was ready. He was able to...
He's learned.
Yeah, exactly. Dome Destiny. They have evolved. They realize that INTZ love playing like this. Yell, 16 health, has to take a gamble, has to take a risk, and, well, it's looking like he's guessed right. It could be moving into him here. They do have a Molotov and a smoke.
Question is, are they going to use it, or are they going to hope to get the surprise here to get a free bomb plant in?
He's watching the angle to surprise. They're not going to check this. This could be going his way. Yell with a double spray. No health. Still gets it done.
You can see Apoka being the loudest one in the room right there. Definitely excited about that. And that's such a big round for INTZ as well. I mean, considering the fact that KNG sets you up perfectly, 3 early frags, you trade that out for Zand, you take that any day. He gets picked off by Vinny. And I mean, even still, you're in a pretty good spot. It's just the fact that Vinny's able to find a double kill so quickly. And losing that round would have been so heartbreaking.
You have the 2 highlight plays. KNG kicking it off with 3 beautiful op frags, and then right at the end, the clutch.
Oh, Vinny. Woo. All right, then. He's getting to feel the wrath of Yell through the wooden planks. Down to 4 HP.
Yeah, returning the favor. FURIA were doing it on their CT side through the wooden panels and getting quite a lot of damage. But on the back foot are FURIA. This is 4 rounds in a row. Just the scout for Art, and he missed anyway. Does connect on the second time of asking.
Cello needs to get out. Oh, not able to get on the site just yet. He's kind of trapped. Good Molotov, though. It's going to allow him to get back onto the site. Actually, yeah, bit of a departing present for Art. The nade actually connects.
Can really see the confidence he has in KNG as well, because he was so vulnerable there.
Oh, yeah.
So incredibly vulnerable after getting tagged up from the scout. But now KNG knows that Vinny is around this corner. He's seen him.
I think he's just screaming on TeamSpeak, "Save me, KNG, save me."
Molotov helped him out. The wall of fire was built. Cello now able to return the favor and watch his teammates back of KNG. They're working so well in tandem, getting a kill back-to-back, leaving Yuri in a 1-on-5. Not going to happen. INTZ reclaim the lead.
Yeah, and look at the money they have on their side as well. Destiny, again, needs to buy a couple of nades and everything, but still sitting around 10K. Yell, 8.8. Cello, 5.2. Zand, 8.3. They couldn't ask for a better scenario right now. Again, no money for an op on the side of FURIA either. So we're not going to see the aggressive opening picks from Art. That's been something that's been very, I guess, distinct for FURIA as well, right? Having Art as an opper being so aggressive, pretty much working as an entry fragger. That is not going to be available to them in this round. And they're starting to run out of rounds, really. I mean, if they were to lose this one, it's back to a really rough bye. I mean, obviously, they have the loss bonus working for them, but as you can see, there's not a whole lot of bank to work off of.
I mean, we're on the home stretch. They can see the finish line. Both teams are there. And this game really just showcases, again, the incredible depth that Brazilian Counter-Strike has.
It really does. You might not get to see it all that often. INTZ, again, not having a pretty prominent online season in that sense, but when it matters, once they get to these offline environments, if they can hone and kind of get their peak form at the right time, that's all that matters. Boost coming in from Art. Nobody playing around Toxic. Just not going to pan out. Yell with the off angle here in Monster. Opens things up. And again, it's the tandem work, as you mentioned in the previous round, working out so well for them. Always someone there to trade, always someone there to double up. And this is just falling apart for FURIA.
It's just rock-solid teamwork that INTZ are bringing to the table. It's no frills, it's just solid.
Yeah.
Able J, there are a couple players that are tagged. I mean, there's maybe Waze back in. He has 55 seconds. He has the bomb.
He's also got some utility as well to clear up potential rough angles to clear. Yell still, though, in that forward positioning. This might be just very unexpected for Abel, though. Well, still wins out.
And only loses 24 health. This is now back up for debate. Certainly still up against the wall is Able J, but in terms of 1v4s,
it's a doable one.
It certainly is. Time's starting to dwindle. Molotov not going to force Destiny away from the pillar.
He's so happy about that, but actually backs out into the Molotov.
He's thinned the herd by 50%, but KNG counts for more than one mere mortal. That up on point. INTZ take a 2-round lead.
They're looking so good right now. And again, we saw the economy situation, and they're actually going to, whoa, okay. Art goes immediately for the rebuy here. The rest of them having a bit more of a conservative approach. Able not purchasing up yet. I was about to say, like, yes, rounds are running away from you. You don't have too much time, but this kind of an investment is pretty dicey. That means that well, unless somebody's going to drop off an op for him, which is unlikely considering the rest of the investments made on the team, they're not going to have ops. I mean, CT side, sure, it's a bit of a different game, but we saw how many opening frags Art was able to win out. He was winning the duels versus KNG more often than not, and INTZ were not having a good time on their T side, at least playing from a man disadvantage.
But Art's not really had much impact on this half. I mean, he's on 10 kills, 50 ADR. Surely you'd want to have that SG in someone else's hands at this stage. Maybe Case or Arto.
We've actually already seen Vinny as well. Work some magic with it. Cello with the far forward positioning here in restrooms. Finds Abel.
Cello is playing this short A side so very well. Of course, as I say that, he gets
classic
caught off guard by Vinny. Yeah, he's done so much damage, but also had so much impact.
Really has. Just everyone on this side of INTZ here on the CT side have come alive. And it's off the back of playing with each other. As you said, a lot of the times in the first half, what saved FURIA was individual performances, clutching out moments for them, while INTZ had, again, the framework for a really solid T side. Now we're finally seeing some progress for FURIA here.
Using the M4 against the counter-terrorists. Now Yell has to try and hold on. Crosshair plays perfectly, double spray, not quite a third, but has he done enough to get the rest of his team back into this? Right idea for KNG. He's going to stop the bomb from being planted and goes back in. Not far off, connecting onto Art either. 15 seconds. He's just seen his teammate get obliterated through the boxes. So he's trying to draw out one of these remaining counter-terrorists into the open.
8 seconds.
He has to stick it at some point, and they know this. They're going to start to move in. Now they know he's off the bomb. There's 2 seconds left. He knows where KNG is. 1 second to go, and FURIA get it done. They actually clutch it with milliseconds to spare.
Ooh, Destiny. KNG gets the initial contact after the last bomb fake. At that point, you know there's no opportunity for him to plant the bomb. And Destiny still fully commits to the wraparound. And that's the only reason he can win, or only way that the Art can win out the round.
I mean, it's easy for us to sit here with, hindsight 2020 watching this, but surely you send one player in to stop the bomb and the other guy stays safe.
KNG, right? Like KNG peered out. The second he gets contact, Destiny just needs to bail out. Hide behind Optimus. Again, just create a bit of a distance from yourself to have the time work in your favor. And they did the opposite. KNG was so far forward, he had no way of actually being able to get back into bank. Oh, man, that's quite the round to drop there for INTZ.
And the thing is, Ven, with the finish line in sight, INTZ have just tripped over and face-planted there. That could be a huge mistake. That could cost them this map.
It very well could. Op got picked up as well. That's in the hands of Kisarada right now. Vinny's got that SG to work for him.
They've got to try and recover here. They do have a player in the form of KNG that's been making a move in bathrooms. He could be the saving grace, but Abel J was next to him. Once that smoke departed, so does KNG. He's sent reeling out of round 26. I mean, INTZ must be gutted. Losing a round like that, how do you mentally come back?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the moments where you just have to, call a timeout. Just calm your nerves. And that bank, that very, very solid bank on the side of INTZ has just evaporated so quickly. I mean, first you have a very solid round. Again, the round where KNG picks up 3, ends up in a 1v2 clutch for Yell. That obviously is going to drain your economy, and then followed up with losing a round that you had no business losing, really. Only real investment made on the side of FURIA was that SG on Art. And now you're looking at a 13-13 scoreline, and your money's not looking that great. Destiny, Yell, they do have the opportunity to drop weapons for both Cello and KNG. And Zan could be able to buy up for himself. Probably just deliberating whether or not they want to go about it, or if they want to wait at one more round, do potential some pistol drops, just kind of a half investment into this, and then get another buy-in.
But they could drop an AWP to KNG. I think that one of the players had 5.2k.
Yeah.
Does mean there'd be a lack of utility, however, so I think it comes priorities.
Yeah, that becomes an issue, I think, regardless of how they choose to approach it. Even if they do limited buy, again, you're not going to invest too much into utility. And again, if you drop off weapons, you're going to be lacking.
Trying to rally the troops. And it's what you called, then. Call a tactical timeout, try and mentally reset, get that motivation, get that focus back.
Yeah, you can't change the past, right? That slip-up that happened in the 1v2 scenario where Art clutches out, that's already happened. Nobody's going to give you that back. So now just needs to focus forward, and they have gone for the investment, but they didn't drop it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, valuing the utility here. And to be fair, we've seen them play well off of it as well so far on the CT side. So
definitely. Can't
really argue with it, even though KNG with an op, that's always a tantalizing prospect.
I'm actually glad to see this buy. I think it offers them a more well-rounded chance of coming through victorious in this round.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So no early damage exchanged just yet. And not quite the same setup either on the CT side here. Last time we saw Destiny in this kind of position, he had Yell on the opposite side of Monster. So it worked as a bit of a tag team duo. Now, though, a bit more of a passive approach. Actually, they're going to make a rotation. Zand's moving up towards A. They haven't really had too much information to make this kind of a call. So, but blind. It's down due to the smokes. And okay, then. Kisarado being the guardian angel of Art there as Destiny peers out. And this is where you had the double setup, really, from INTZ working so well for you, right? Yell combining with Destiny to find, at the very least, trades. Now we've just gone down a man, and that's not really been the forte of INTZ, playing off of these awkward situations. And for all the utility that they had, we're looking at 35 seconds left, and it's only KNG with any sort of utility.
That's a good point. It's all centralized, so if he goes down, a lot of it's going to go to waste.
Yeah, and he's not over towards that B bomb site, which is seemingly the spot where FURIA wants to end this all.
Flashbang in. Zand and Cello will close it out. The bomb's been dropped down, but now that Cello's been dealt with, Yell and Zand are going to try and pick up the slack. 12 seconds to go. Bomb's got dropped into water. Kisarado's going to have to pull out a miracle if he's going to clutch this round, and jumps up.
Whew.
INTZ have got it done again. After the timeout, the magic has worked.
It has, but again, they're in a situation where they, well, lose more than 3 players. So yeah, you do get a win round, or round one, but how do you actually deal with the reinvestment here? See the odds from GG.bet significantly closer than what they were earlier on.
Yeah.
INTZ creeping closer here at 2.46. The reinvestment is not the prettiest here on the side of INTZ. Similar amount of utility, but again, just downgraded an AUG to a UMP.
I think INTZ will have a few words to say about those odds. They're in the lead. They're only 2 rounds shy of taking this map.
Zand, ooh, still actually managed to adjust.
Oh, the SG is so filthy. You can see the terrorists using it in bulk too. Able J takes 94 damage.
Oh. So while the main advantage might still be even, well, actually, scratch that. 4v3. Able J, yeah, you can sneeze at him and he's going to go down Yuri. At least finds the trade onto KNG. Does know that Cello's still lurking about in Underpass. There's actually nobody on the A bomb site right now. There we have it. A rotation finally comes in from Destiny. And he's one of the players with a weapon as well.
Yeah, he has the AUG. This kind of a range can be devastating. Vinny still has time, 52 seconds. They don't have to take this decision right now, but they're going to decide to go for the peak. Destiny deals with him. The bomb's been dropped.
And what do you do if you're Yuri? You do have an AK, but you have no utility here. How are you actually going to separate these 3 players on the side of in?
Yuri's going to go in for the jugular, but the hunter becomes the hunted, and INTZ have 2 match points.
Well then, final timeout coming up from FURIA as well. They have a lot to talk about in this one. Luckily for them, round loss bonus has been building up for them, so they're going to get a half-decent buy. Some of the players sitting at 3.4, which is obviously not ideal, but you had 1 or 2 sitting above 4.5. INTZ's CT side have been just very, very well played. Again, we talked about how their T side definitely could have had more rounds to it, just individual performances, keeping FURIA in it. On the CT side, I felt it's been more just solid team play, winning out more often than not.
I think it's certainly a fair statement to make, and keep in mind as well that they've also shown a lot of grit and tenacity. They lost the first 3 or 4 rounds on their CT side. They were 11-7 behind at one point, and then they came back strong, made that huge blunder in the 1v2, came back again.
And now they're on map point. And what a scalp this would be to open up the miners for them as well. Taking out FURIA. You said it, the desk said it, I think everyone said it. You know, anyone's been paying attention to Counter-Strike for the last 3-4 months now would have had FURIA as clear favorites going into this.
Yeah, the odds showed it too. Everyone really thought this was a foregone conclusion, although we did say best of one's first game of the tournament. There's always the possibility. Cellos came in with 2. They're so close to causing this upset now. Only a flash and a HE in the utility belt of FURIA. Molotov to greet Able J. He's going to back out. They at least have the bomb then. There's still some opportunities available for FURIA.
Yeah, but you could tell the CT side not falling for any sort of overreactions here. Still 2 players over towards that B bomb site. And even though they don't have all the utility in the world right now, they've been so good at positioning themselves well to, if not just get straight up trades, then getting crossfires down. You're just going to try to keep them honest over towards the A-bomb site. Oh, and actually, I think it's Destiny moving up towards that A-bomb site.
Time though, then, 22 seconds. Serato, they need an entry from this man, but it's KNG that's repelled the flanker, repelled the interference player, can yell, repel the rest of them, not quite, but Serato doesn't have time, doesn't have the bomb either, it's over. INTZ gonna cause the upset and knock down their compatriots a peg, taking the first match in the NA Minor.
There we go, yeah, the sound levels are raised immediately as the game ends. And what a scalp to start off the Americas Minors. INTZ taking out, well, the second highest rated team, or ranked team, in this entire competition. It's Energy at 5th, and then there's FURIA at 7th. This is the world ranked number 45, winning out their opening match. And what a way to do it as well. It wasn't fluky, it wasn't just based off of heroics from one player. Everyone across the board being able to contribute on the side of INTZ. And it's off the back of solid teamwork. Again, flashing towards each other, setting themselves up in proper positions to have crossfires. Just all across the board, solid play from the Brazilians.
I mean, FURIA had moments too, so you really have to give INTZ a huge amount of credit here. That is a legit victory.
Yeah, on a map that they don't specialize in.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep that in mind.
They've played it way less than FURIA have recently, and yet they come out on top. That's a huge result, and that's what the minors are all about.
Absolutely, and I think Fiflaren, again, early days, we're not going to go overboard with reactions and that kind of thing, but Fiflaren kind of alluded to it, you know, on the desk as well, the fact that FURIA might have had an instance of peaking too early or peaking too soon in terms of form, right? Obviously, they came on, you know, lightning hot to create upsets, obviously making it to finals of tournaments and so on. And, you know, if you're about to fall right in front of the major, that's obviously going to be so disheartening for you. It's a bit of a rough one.
It really is a rough one, but Smix has an interview lined up with us, so go for it, Smix.
Or not. We're going to hold on for a little bit on the interview, I suppose.
I can hear voices.
There we go.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Congratulations, y'all. What a fantastic way to start off the tournament. You guys were up against FURIA, and a lot of people thought FURIA were the favorites to win, so it has to be a huge confidence booster. I can tell you guys are ecstatic.
Yeah, we're really excited. We prepared a lot for this match. Being a best of one is easier to study the other team and see what the map's going to be. We knew it would be either vertical or overpass, and we studied them a lot on overpass, and we got the win.
Well, let's break down the map itself. Let's talk about the T side to kick things off. In the beginning, we saw that FURIA won about 5 rounds in a row, but after a certain point, it looked like you guys figured out how to handle their CT side. So can you break down what that first half worked out for you guys?
Their CT side, they play like heavy, one guy bathroom. They don't play on side, so I told my team that we were going to do defaults and win the default, and we were going to win the T side. And that's what we did. We just did defaults and caught Art off guard a little bit, and we could win 7 rounds on T. It was amazing.
It was amazing. And then moving into that second half, we saw after they won pistol in a few rounds, it was a really crucial round where you guys won with 3 pistols. So talk about how that was able to happen and what the map looked like moving forward.
So in that situation, when Destiny got a kill on Caserato at B, I said to them, rotate all A, because I knew they lost their B player. So if they want to come back B, it would take so long. So I call it to stack A, and it works.
And then there was a moment where maybe it got a little bit dangerous because on the flip side, FURIA also won a round later on where they had pistols and Art won that clutch. So in that moment, what did you tell the team?
On that moment, I felt that the team, like, they slowed down a bit, and I tried to bring them up because it was 13-13, I think. And it was not over, so I told them that.
Well, with this win now, 16-13, you're moving forward to that winner's match, and it's going to be against NRG. I saw that you had talked about how your team is feeling really prepared going up, really prepared because you had practice against a lot of top teams like Liquid and Cloud9. Is NRG also a team you guys have scrimmed with?
I'm pretty sure it's either United or LG, I think. But yeah, I mean, we played against LG a lot, United a lot. I mean, every single tournament we were in the same group as United. We know each other a lot, and I don't know, whatever it comes, we're gonna be ready.
Sounds fantastic. Well, congratulations once again. That was a really fantastic showing from you guys. Let's head back to the boys at the desk.